and welcome. We have with us a very special guest joining in this morning to talk to us about the outlook for the company and what lies ahead for the sector as well. Umesh Chaudhary of Titagarh Wagons joins in. Mr. Chaudhary, good morning. Thank you very much for taking the time out to talk to us. We didn't get a chance to talk to you during the earnings release, so I'd like to have you discuss that with us and, of course, draw out the roadmap for the rest of FY25. For the quarter was slightly lower than what the street was expecting, largely, I believe, on back of a heat wave and elections. Going ahead, do you feel like there could be lumpiness in the orders and hence the next couple of quarters may be far better than what we saw in the first quarter of FY25?
So yes, good morning. Always a pleasure being with you. Unfortunately, we couldn't connect immediately after the quarter results. But you see, if you look at the results of the Q1 and compare it to the Q1 of the previous year, we still have registered about a 13% volume growth on our freight segment. And the passenger segment has been lower primarily on account of completion of the Pune contract, which we had announced in the March results also. And the Bangalore and Ahmedabad production in the passenger side would start from Q2, Q3 onwards. So therefore, there is this intervening gap in the couple of quarters that we have in the passenger side. Having said that, the Q1 that we were expecting this year was our targets were higher, which could not be achieved on account of the heat wave and very high absenteeism on account of elections. But we are fairly confident of being able to recover this in the coming quarters. And we did an average of 700 wagons in Q1. And our target is to do between 900 to 950 wagons on an average in the balance part of the year.
Right. So, Mr. Chaudhary, is it a fair assumption? Because I think the last time we spoke to you, indicated close to 1,000 wagons a month. Does that still stand for FY25, or are we now saying that we're revising it downward to 900 or 950 wagons?
No, 1,000 wagons is our target, but what happens is that on an average, because of the holidays, because of the festive seasons and all of that, the average comes down, but our target is to touch 1,000 wagons per month. We have been able to touch the 1,000 wagons per month on a few occasions. Consistently, it's always a range that we like to present. So when we say 900 to 1,000, we generally take it as a 950 average, but that is more to keep a conservative estimate because this is a capital good industry. It's not a process industry. In a process industry, once you switch on the machines, then the production is on an automated basis. In a project industry, the production can be differing from one month to the other based on several factors or the completion percentage of the wagon and so on. So that's where we always like to give a range, and the range we give is between 900 to 1,000. And for simple calculation or simplicity of calculation, we take it at an average of 950 wagons.
Also, help me understand the revenue split between passenger and freight. And I know passenger is the higher margin business. Where do you see the revenue split at, say, 2 to 3 years out?
So if we really look at the potential, so let me give you the potential size of the capacity that we are creating. So for the freight, we would have a capacity of 12,000 freight wagons, which is total revenue of about 4,500 to 5,000 crores. For the passenger, we produced on an average 3 coaches per month last year when we were executing Pune. In the current quarters, it is less than a coach per month because we are in between 2 projects, and the capacity that we are creating in the first phase is to get to approximately 35 to 40 coaches per month, and then ultimately to 70 coaches per month. That we should be able to achieve in about 4 years from now. So further kind of putting a number to that, once we are able to achieve full capacity of about 70 coaches a month or about 800 coaches a year, each coach costs about 10 crores. So the total potential revenue of passenger that we can expect in, say, 5 years from today is almost 8,000 crores of revenue potential. Now, how much of that will actually get culminated into revenue is dependent upon the execution, about the order book, and all of that. But that I'm talking about is the overall capacity that we are creating. In terms of the margin, right now, because of the low volume and the fixed costs being there, the margins are, of course, under pressure. But we believe that we should be able to get to between 10 to 15 cars per month within this financial year, ramp it up to almost 25 to 30 cars next year, and gradually build up on that. So once we are able to get to a normalized level, then of course we are expecting the EBITDA margins of this business to become better.
And what is better, Umesh? What is it that internally have you decided is where you see your blended margins at, say at the end of FY25? I know this quarter was good. There was some expansion on margins for the passenger vehicles. But at the end of FY25, where would you like to see your blended margins at?
So I would not answer this on the basis of FY25, but what I will do is I'll give it to you on milestones. So when we are able to get to a 15, 20 car per month production capacity, which should be somewhere in FY25, 26, we should be able to get 10, 11% of EBITDA margin in the PRS. And then the next margin jump comes in when we are able to equip our coaches with our own propulsion, where we will be able to get to 14, 15% of EBITDA margins. That should happen in FY26 and FY27 partially. It get completed by FY27, I would say. So that's when we will be able to enhance our overall margin to close to 14%, between 14 and 15%. And of course, then, as we are able to enhance capacities and get to the 70 coach number, then we should be able to improve that further by about 1% or a couple of percentage points.
Okay, actually, this is great because I think if you're looking at, and I think that's the better way to look at Titagarh is from a long-term, story. Over the next 2 to 3 years, what is the sort of revenue growth you would be eyeing, and also on the margin front, at what level, and I'm saying 3 years out from where we stand right now to where you see yourself in, say, FY27, 28, what is the sort of growth on margins and top line are you working with, and what you would be happy with?
So as I mentioned, and I think you put it very nicely, because our business, I always like to say internally also that we are a 3-year, we should be seen not on a quarterly basis, but on a 3-year period basis. So if you really look at our business till FY19, on a 3-year basis, we were doing an average revenue of 300 crores. Then we did an average revenue for the next 3-year period of close to 1,000 crores. Now we are doing a 3-year revenue of almost 3,000 crores. And we feel that the potential that we have, so till now, if you really look at the revenue that we are doing, last year we did close to 4,000 crore, and almost 85, 90% out of that was from the freight business. So that continuing to grow in the normal pace that it should grow, the passenger business will start contributing, and which on an overall basis has the potential of being 60% of the corporate revenue. So effectively, if we see 60% of my potential revenue is zero today. And that's how we should see the company in 3 to 5 years' time from now.
Umesh, also I know you will start delivering on the Bangalore's Metro Yellow Line by August 2024. So that's actually this month. And also Pune, like you said, will show up, has been completed. But of course, the other, like Ahmedabad, will also show up in the next couple of months. Now, in terms of recognizing revenue for it, is that done in a lumpy way, or is that evenly spread over the contract or the life of the order?
It is on a percentage of completion method basis. So it is generally progressing based on the progress made on the project. The production for Bangalore has already started. The first trains are expected to be rolling out in maybe September or beginning of October. But the production has already started as we had envisaged in August.
Okay, so that's already hit the ground running. Also, your business is all about investing in capacity, and I know you've been aggressively earmarking money and spending a lot of it on passenger vehicles, from what I understand. Any new capex that you've earmarked in the current financial year, or are you going to you've made these investments and you're going to now wait it out to bear fruit of that?
No, we are continuously investing. So I had mentioned during our quarterly earnings call on the March results also, and subsequently, that the total capex that we have planned for our businesses right now is about 1,000 crore, excluding our wheel plant, wheel project that we are doing in joint venture with Ramakrishna. And this includes what we spent last year and what we are spending this year, and which we will end up spending in the next financial year. All of this is a part and parcel of this capacity enhancement exercise that we are doing for both Metro, for Vande Bharat, and for the freight wagon, including backward integration for propulsion, etc. So all of this is a part of the larger picture that we are trying to emerge to in the next 3 to 5 year period, which I mentioned to you is 800 coach capacity per year.
Right. Also, Umesh, I know that there was some business and you had managed to sell some amount, do some revenue in Italy. You want to talk about that? You want to tell me what is the focus on the global marketplace? And I'm assuming these are high margin businesses, right? Just simply because the European countries. Is that something that the company is focusing on to improve profitability over the next couple of years by building out your international business?
Absolutely. We believe that, so all our investments that we are making, all the competencies that we are creating, we are doing it on the basis that we should be able to do international business, and we should be able to sell our products to not only countries which have, equal or, let us say, slightly more outdated railway systems, but to the most modern railway systems in the world, like Europe or the US, etc. And the first traction converters that we exported to Italy was a part of that. So we're not so much concentrated on margins at this point of time, because right now is the time that we just need to establish ourselves into the European market. But once we've been able to do that over the next year, 2 years time, of course the cost arbitrage that we will be able to get of European versus Indian cost in itself will be able to give us a much better margin play, and also de-risk our business. Of course, Indian infrastructure story is going to be there for years to come right now, but we still believe that the kind of capacity that we are creating, we should not be only looking at the Indian markets, but looking at the global markets. And so two things that we are doing, one is focus a lot on engineering, on design, and this is also in line with what the policy of the government is. The Honorable Prime Minister mentioned about design in India being given importance, and we are already working on that. We have a design center in Bangalore, we have a design center in Hyderabad, we have a design center in Calcutta. And we are creating technologies that can be exported. And the second is branding for the world. So we are trying to create the brand Titagarh that is exportable, that is recognizable all over the globe in the railway arena, and so that we can design our product, brand our product, and export our product.
Interesting. Also, talking about, all the orders, and I know that your business is largely tender driven. And tell me, are there any significant tenders you're bidding for currently? And is there a good chance that some of that may actually show up in this quarter's earnings? Or rather, next quarter's earnings, Q2?
No, so they will not show up in any earnings right now, because the businesses that we bid for, they are long gestation. So tenders take time to finalize, and then typically a passenger coach business, when we get the contract, from that time to the delivery of the first train is 2 years. But they definitely then they start showing up in the order pipeline, etc., etc. There are a number of tenders. We just saw day before yesterday additional metros being sanctioned by the Union Cabinet. So we believe the infrastructure, as I just mentioned a few minutes ago, the infrastructure play of India, the requirement of railways, urban mobility, and railway mobility is going to be there for years to come. Because India is an aspirational country. The youth of India is aspirational. They want better modes of commuting, etc. And the government is also focusing a lot on creating India for tomorrow, or India of tomorrow. So we believe that there will be a number of tenders. There are a number of tenders in the pipeline that we are participating. Whether we will win or not, this is something that only time will tell.
Right. Thank you very much, Umesh, and good luck for everything that you're undertaking, and hopefully you achieve those targets and goals that you're setting out for Titagarh railway system. We'll hopefully catch you soon again, and have a good week. With that, that was the management of Titagarh Railway Systems talking about the outlook for the company over the next couple of years, what sort of product mix that they're focusing on, and where they expect a significant chunk of the revenue to come from in the current financial year.